I did this by accident and it changed my wrestling career. And I've used it in life too, just as far as building the business and, just being very busy and still being productive. So we have a phrase, do one thing every day for your wrestling. I had a coach, Marlon Kaikin. He was a Soviet Union certified coach at the junior level and defected to the United States, and just by sheer luck, we were able to train at a freestyle program with him. He liked my brother and I and started, he just quit coaching at that level, pulled me and my brother aside, and was our private coach for 8 to 10 months, if I remember correctly. I was 13. Then up and moved to New York City and, drove a taxi cab for quite some time. Just passed away a few years ago. I've been in touch a few times with his daughter, just through Twitter and stuff. But that was a big concept of what he taught, okay? And very broken English, but, said, do one thing every day for your wrestling. Do one thing every day for your wrestling. And he actually helped coach Alexander Medved back in his developmental years. So, Marlon was a pretty prominent coach in the Soviet Union back then. But he said, it's okay to play soccer, because my brother and I played soccer, not seriously, right? It's tough to do wrestling seriously, but then, be like ultra extreme, serious, super select, travel the nation, 100 days a year baseball, and then ultra serious select soccer. It's tough to do it all, right? But back then, we really didn't have all of these opportunities. But he said it's okay to play soccer, but your mind and emotions are dumped into wrestling, and do one thing every day for your wrestling. If it's a day off, maybe you just do some pull-ups for your wrestling, 10 minutes. You do something every day for your wrestling. If you are at soccer practice and you have to do sprints after practice, you might do 5 more sprints and say, this is for my wrestling. And, I feel like that was career changing, and it's extremely helpful. So here I am trying to figure out how to do one thing every day for my wrestling, even if it's small. And I kind of fell into, just sort of by accident, just creating schedules for myself. And I would sit there and say, okay, at 3:30, my brother and I had a wrestling mat. We sold our 4-wheeler, bought a home wrestling mat, quit baseball, and really got serious about wrestling. And I just started scheduling my time. And it really took the motivation out of it. And I'm really harp on this a lot because I think it's very important. And I just kind of fell into scheduling my day. Even if it was do pull-ups for 10 minutes. That's on the schedule. And I knew when I was going to do that. And then I got to be in 8th grade, 7th grade. We had to keep a planner, a day runner, right? And to this day, I still carry one. And I believe it was a Stanford study or something that said people who keep a day runner or a planner, nowadays you can do it on your phone, but I don't like that. I like paper. They make 93% more money than the people who don't. So it's proven to be, you just become hyper productive when you plan out your day. So I kind of fell into that habit on accident, spurred by this great advice from this man who I had a lot of respect for. And then a teacher who made us, and they would do flash, okay, open up your planner, make sure you're using it. And I did. Homework this is what my test is, this is that, this is when we have a tournament. And I carried one, my whole life since I was, 15 years old. So 40 years I've carried one, and it's been very tremendous. So the thing I fell into by accident is scheduling my day and scheduling I call it schedule my success. And it takes the motivation out of it. So, we think you should be, if you're really hardcore, older wrestler, extremely hardcore, your mom and dad have to take your iPad from you at night because you'll stay up all night watching Flow Wrestling. We've had a few of those guys. You're that kind of a guy that this is what you want to do. Well, if you're going to train 3 days a week, working some days off, plan your weightlifting, and maybe you say, I'm not going to do ultra select. I'm not playing football anymore. I'm too small. I'm going to get hurt. I can't make the varsity team anyway in 2 years. Screw football. I'm going to wrestle. Well, I still like baseball. Then do baseball. But maybe you don't do the 75 games a year where you got practice 4 days a week and batting cages every Sunday. You're like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to do just local fun baseball. So see, you're getting smaller over here, bigger over here, and you schedule it all out. And I think, if you can work out most months of the year 3 times a week on the mat, sometimes only 2, building some 5 or 6 days off. Maybe you go hard for 2 months and you take 5 days off, and you're building in 2 to 3 weightlifting programs a week. And you schedule it so you know that, hey, it's Monday, which it is. Class gets out at 2:20. At 2:45, I'm on the wrestling mat. And this is my partner, and this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. And then you carry this on into life. And then, maybe in college, maybe you just enter the workforce. Maybe you go into the military. You have your day planned the night before. Before you go to bed, or hours before you go to bed, sometime in the evening, you plan out your next day, okay? And then you circle the top 3 things. I call them impact areas. These are the things, the areas that the things that are really going to impact my life. Those are important. I do those first. Besides maybe some easy stuff, text chat. Okay, so I generally have a big to-do list. I highlight the easy stuff. Maybe I can knock out 9 things in like 20 minutes, and I got black marker on my to-do list, and I feel like, hey, I've only been going 20 minutes. I've already got 9 things knocked off of my to-do list. Then I have the 3 main things that are going to impact my business, my income, my health, my life, things I have to do. And I circle those, and then I put 1, 2, 3 by them. And then I slide everything out of my way, and I just start on number 1. And it takes motivation out of it. And see, that's the thing is, I stumbled across a way to become successful without having to need to be motivated. And people are like, it's not good to live your life by a task list or a to-do list. Well, it's good for me. If you don't like it, don't do it. No one cares. No one cares if you have success, how you have success. No one really cares, because she's busy with her life. He's busy with his life. I'm busy with my life. And these people you see on Instagram and stuff who say, this is how you're supposed to be successful. Hey, if it works, do it. There was a day when there wasn't an iPad or a cell phone. Right? The locomotive industry was built by people who didn't have a phone, right? At least not readily available. It wasn't in their pocket. So there's many different ways to have success. But that's something I stumbled across that's worked for me, that I preach nonstop to our campers and our athletes and my nephew. It's like, you have to create a schedule for your life, because it absolutely can guide your day, and it takes the motivation out of the equation. Sometimes I'm motivated, sometimes I'm not. But hey, it's 2:20, it's Monday. I've got, Michael and Jaden, they're meeting me after school. Here's my practice plan. Dude, I gotta go.